You should treat yourself like you're valuable. A quote from Dr. Jordan Peterson. But how do you treat yourself valuable? Do you coddle yourself? Do you handle yourself with kid gloves? Do you give in to every excuse that you could possibly have in order to keep yourself in the most comfortable condition possible? Or do you call on yourself to do more? That's what this clip right here is about. This is episode 1070 with Dr. Jordan Peterson on the Joe Rogan Experience. We're at 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 18 seconds. And Dr. Peterson is about to show us how we treat ourselves valuable. Let's get into it. I'm Coach Colin, coolest high performance coach in the world. And if you want the absolute best insights to the podcasts and videos you love, hit that subscribe button. Let's go.
Who you are.
Right.
Feel good about who you are.
Right. But the thing is, it has to be stated with precision. It's like,
yes.
It's like
With
you should treat yourself as if you're valuable, especially in potential. But you should concentrate on who you should become, especially if you're young. And so let's say you're miserable and nihilistic and chaotic and depressed and all of that now, and you have your reasons, terrible parenting, abuse, all of those things. It's like, well, you should feel good about yourself. It's like, no, it's not the right message. Is that it's more like you should understand how much potential there is within you to set that straight. And then you should do everything you can to manifest that in the world, and it will set it straight. And that's better than self-esteem. It's like you're in a crooked, horrible position. Okay, fine. There's a lot of suffering and pain associated with that. Yeah, you can't just feel good about that because it's not good. But you can do something about it. You can genuinely do something about it. And I think all the evidence suggests that that's the case.
Yes.
So I'm telling young people, look, no matter how bad your situation is, I'm not going to pretend it's okay. It's not okay. It's tragic, tainted with malevolence. And some people really get hurt by malevolent people, like, terribly hurt. Sometimes they never recover. It's really awful. But there's more to you than you think. And if you stand up and face it with a positive, with a noble vision, with discipline and intent, you can go far farther to overcoming it than you can imagine. And that's the principle upon which you should predicate your behavior. And I think that one of the things that's really nice about being a clinical psychologist is that this isn't just guesswork. Like one of the things, we know two things in clinical psychology. One is truthful conversations redeem people. Because if you come to a clinical psychologist whose worth is salt, you have a truthful conversation. The conversation is, well, here's what's wrong with my life. And here's what caused it. Maybe it takes a year to have that conversation. And both of the participants are doing everything they can to lay it out properly. Here's how it might be fixed. Here's what a beneficial future might look like. And so it's a completely honest conversation if it's working well. And all that's happening in the conversation is that the two people involved are trying to make things better. That's the goal. Let's see if we can have a conversation that will make things better. Okay, so we know that works. It does make things better. And then another thing we know is that, well, let's say there's a bunch of things that you're afraid of that are in your way. So you have some vision about who you want to be. Maybe you have to, you want to be successful in your career, so you have to learn to talk in front of a group. It's like, okay, well, you're afraid of that. It's like, no wonder you don't want to be humiliated. So, okay, so what do we do about that? Well, maybe we first get you to speak in front of one person and then 3 people, for 5 minutes and then for 10 minutes. Like graduated exposure to what you're afraid of. Voluntary graduated exposure to what you're afraid of is curative. And that's true. It works. The documentation is in. It's how people learn. So to tell people that if you confront the world forthrightly, if you speak the truth and you expose yourself courageously to those things that you're afraid of, that your life will improve, and so will the life of people around you. Like, as far as I'm concerned, that's as close to undeniable fact as we've got. And it also dovetails nicely with the underlying archetypal stories, the heroic stories. It's like, go out there, find the dragon, confront it. It's a dragon. It might eat you. It's dangerous. But it's worse to cower at home and wait for it to come and devour you. Go out there, confront it, get the gold, share it with the community. It's like, yeah, it's the oldest story of mankind.
Man. Oh, I love it. I love it. What would he say? Graduated exposure to what you're afraid of or to your fear. That is everything. Exposing yourself daily and gradually to the things you're afraid of is just the best thing ever. Like, Joe Rogan used to be afraid of fighting. Then he became a fighter. Like, David Goggins used to be afraid of running and being his true self around people. And now he's Goggins, I mean, even Jordan Peterson had an alcohol problem at one point in his life, and he got through it, like exposed himself to sobriety bit by bit by bit, became sober, became Jordan Peterson, one of the most intelligent people, or one of the most known intellectuals in the world. I used to be afraid of cameras. I used to be afraid of talking, period. I didn't like to talk when I was a kid, like at all, not at all. And then I ended up selling weed and stuff, and I had to get more extroverted, and that was a whole past there. But again, exposure, day after day. What is it like? Obviously we're going to talk about what Jordan Peterson was talking about, but what in your life do you know that you're afraid of, that you could expose yourself to every single day? Just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. When we talk about this whole dragon analogy, you don't have to run straight into the dragon's mouth, but at least go see where it is. Like, at least check out, like, okay, it lives over there. All right, I see it. Okay. And it goes to sleep at 12 o'clock every night. All right. Start casing it out. Start checking where the dragon lives. Where does it go? What does it eat? Start getting familiar with the dragons in your life. Right? And then take your confidence, build it up. That's how you build up confidence, and start sharpening. Take that confidence like a sword and start sharpening it up, and then get ready to just do battle with that dragon. And you know what the funny thing is when we talk about the analogy of a dragon, that when you do go to the cave where the dragon is, and all of a sudden you walk in and you go and find that dragon, you'll find a fucking iguana. You'll find an iguana just sitting there, and it just goes, and you're just like, what was I afraid of the whole time? This is what I was afraid of? I'm telling you, I know that's a stupid analogy, but every single time you really confront what you're afraid of, you'll realize there was nothing to be afraid of. Nothing. This was nothing. Whether it's a conversation with your mom, like, treating yourself like you're valuable. Like, I was reminded throughout this talk of something that Gary Vee once said to somebody, and the person was like really afraid to do something. They were afraid to take these steps towards this business that they wanted to start. And he was like, right away, he's like, who do you have to talk to? Like, who are you afraid of disappointing that you have to have a conversation with? And they were like, yeah. He's like, no, who? And they're like, my mom. And he's just like, there you go. He's like, you're looking to me for all these answers. He's like, just go and talk to your mom. Have the conversation with your mom. And I'm sure that guy went and did it. I'm sure he was afraid. And then he said, Mom, I want to do this. And she went, fine. And then he went, oh my God, I've been afraid to do that for the past 3 years. Like I myself, I have my own mother. She doesn't say I love you. She's like said I love you to like none of her kids ever. Like ever. And I know one day she's going to say it. She's just going to say, I love you. And then she's just going to go, and we're all going to say, I love you too. And she's going to be like, what was I afraid of for all these decades? I know it's going to happen. I know it. Before she passes away, she's going to do that. And she's going to be like, I can't believe I didn't. So stupid of me. It's true, man. Like, just go and confront whatever it is. And then also to what Jordan Peterson was saying, treat yourself like you're valuable. That's how you do it. That's why I made this video to begin with. How you treat yourself like you're valuable is by confronting the things that you're afraid of. Because in confronting the things you're afraid of, I talk about this all the time, and I'm not going to stop. Confronting those things, the best version of you is there. You're treating yourself like you're valuable. You're going after your highest self. You know that your highest self is there. You have faith. That's how you treat yourself like you're valuable. You treat yourself like you're a millionaire by going out and trying to start a business and collecting business knowledge and building business acumen. Like, that's how you do it. You treat yourself like you're valuable. Treat yourself like you're worth something. by going out and being the absolute best version of yourself possible. Because again, like Jordan Peterson said, that is good for you and your family. It's good for you and the people around you. My wife just messaging me because it's 11:11. We do that. We message each other on 11:11. But yeah, you gotta go for it. Treat yourself like you are valuable. Treat yourself like you have infinite potential. Treat yourself like you have the ability to become just like and more than every single person that you admire in life. Every single person who inspires you in life. Treat yourself like you have the ability to become one of those people, because you do. And as you go in front of each one of these fears and each one of these roadblocks in your life, you will then become more and more and more and more like those people, because every single one of those people that you admire, that you're inspired by, that you love, they all had to walk this type of road. All of them. No, bar none. Nobody doesn't have fears that they have to confront. Nobody. Everybody has fears. Everybody has to confront them. Everybody gets scared. Everybody has dragons. Everybody has to learn how to slay them. And you're no different. But you are incredible. And I know that's like hokey, but you are, man. You just have to show yourself. If you are of value, stop coddling yourself on the couch. Stop keeping yourself in the utmost comfort. Because a valuable person, a person who has infinite potential, they can work out, they can run for miles, they can build businesses, they can build relationships, they're charismatic, they have confidence. You're all of those things. But you have to move towards them, and it's going to be hard. But it's so worth it. Why? Because you're worth it. You are valuable. This highest self that you have inside of you needs for you to go through those things. Treat yourself like you're valuable and go through it. I'm out.